Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shibishakam Vidangshan Mantra Guru Ajota Shika Guru Ganta Charane Age Kori Abandon Ancha Kopa Trubia Shakripa Shimdeva Cha Petitanam Papaneva Vaishnava Namo. Nityananda Prabhu received an order from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Shamate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pacharne Vishesha Shannavari Prashtattadeshtane Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Se Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Go Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare. Nityananda Prabhu received an order from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We have heard that every year the devotees from Gaudadesh, from Bengal, every year they would journey to Jagannath Puri. And for that reason, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was residing in Jagannath Puri so that the devotees from Bengal would have access to him. And they were regularly coming every year. Now, Mahaprabhu, after 2 or 3 years, Chaitanya, after a couple of years, Mahaprabhu, he ordered Nityananda Agyadilo. Nityananda Agyadilo. He gave an order to Lord Nityananda. Nityananda Agyadilo. Jao, go to Deshe, go to Bengal. Anargal Prema Bhakti Kodaho Prakashe. Without restriction, Anargal Prema Bhakti Kodaho Prakashe. You preach Krishna consciousness, distribute Krishna consciousness without restriction throughout Bengal. Nityananda Prabhu, in pursuance of this order of Lord Chaitanya, actually, there, Krishna Balaram, Rajendra Nandan Jay Shachishuta Hoilo She Balarama Hoilo Nitai. Go Nitai, Krishna and Balaram. And Nityananda's mood, they have a relationship. They're brothers. They're preaching Krishna consciousness. Bahudui John Nitai Gauchanda Parama Kuruna. Shab Avatar Shah Shiromani. They're the crest jewel of all avatars. Bahudui John. These two brothers. Bahudui John Nitai Gauchanda. And their relationship is specific. That Chaitanya Goshai Jade Bolo Bore Chaitanya Goshai Jade Bore Borobai. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's thinking of Lord Nityananda as his elder brother. Because he's older, he's about 10 years older. Chaitanya Goshai Jade Bore Borobai. Chaitanya Goshai Jade Bole Borobai. And Tare more Prabhu Chaitanya, Tare Bole, more Prabhu Chaitanya Goshai. And Nityananda Prabhu, more Prabhu, he says, Tare Bole, more Prabhu Chaitanya Goshai. My master is Chaitanya Goshai. Chaitanya Goshai Jare Bole, Borobai, Tare Bole, more Prabhu Chaitanya Goshai. Nityananda Prabhu, he thinks of Lord Chaitanya as his master, as the Supreme Lord. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he thinks of Lord Nityananda as his elder brother. And in this way, they have relationship. Having taken sannyas, and actually Nityananda Prabhu, he was the original recipient of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order to preach. Shunu Shunu Nityananda Shunu Haridash Shabatra Amaragai Guru Prakash. Vrindavan Das Thakur was explaining that Mahaprabhu, after performing Sankirtan for 1 year in the house of Srivas Thakur in Navadip, then Mahaprabhu considered beginning to spread the Sankirtan movement. And first he ordered Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur to be the primary or the original preachers. Shunu Shunu Nityananda Shunu Haridas. Listen Nityananda, listen Haridas, Sarvatra Amaragai Koroho Prakash. In every place, Sarvatra Amaragai. My instructions, Koroho Prakash. You reveal them. You preach Krishna consciousness everywhere. Prati Ghore Ghore Giya. You go to every home, every door. Every home. Gore gore gi. Koro ebika. And you beg this. Bhaja Krishna, Bolo Krishna, Koro Krishna Shikha. You beg them to chant Hare Krishna, worship Krishna, and follow Krishna's instructions. So Nityananda Prabhu, this is his mood in serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's the foundational preacher of the Sankirtan movement, Nityananda Prabhu, and he was ordered to preach in Bengal. So Mahaprabhu he mentioned various places. He didn't mention various places. He said all the world. My name will be preached all over the world. As many towns and villages there are all over the planet, on all of them. In other words, without exception, everywhere my name will be preached. And then he told Kumar Brahman that Dada Adesh, you deliver this country where you are staying now. So that he said that specifically, and wherever he went, he said that. But he also, in addition to saying everywhere and to saying the place where it currently was, he also ordered Nityananda Prabhu to preach in Bengal. So he was specifically he was concerned about spreading Krishna consciousness in Bengal. And still, we see now that that on this planet that Bengal is the center of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. It's called Gaudiya. It's sometimes called Bengali Vaishnavism. And so in Bengal, where our movement is developing so effective, so rapidly. In fact, MPs, they come and they discuss how they want ISKCON to come because it's, in other places, states in India, they're battling with conversions from Hinduism to Christianity and Islam. And he said, but in West Bengal, we don't see that. Why? Because ISKCON is everywhere. Namhatta, ISKCON is everywhere. They're appreciating His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj's influence on these conversions going out in all over India, but in West Bengal, no. Why? Because ISKCON is everywhere. ISKCON is everywhere. His Namhatta is so effectively preached for 40 years, all through Bengal, West Bengal, East Bengal, Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, we have 100 centers. Just in Bangladesh, 100 centers. And thousands of brahmacharis, Bangladesh. So naturally, and it's a small country. It's like one state of India. The preaching is it's so important that we preach in Bengal, and naturally, the preaching in Bengal you would expect to become very successful, being this particularly the traditional culture of Gaudadesh, Bengal Bhumi. And that's understood. And the Mahaprabhu, he said, yes, preach everywhere. And he said to Korma, yeah, preach where you are. But he said also, Gaudadesh, I want preaching in Gaudadesh. And so well, anyone who has fortune to participate and assist preaching in Gaudadesh, naturally, they're very fortunate soul. What more can be said? In fact, one great Acharya in our movement, Tamon Krishna Maharaj, he said to me personally, he said that you have received a great benediction through the parampara, being able to preach in Bangladesh. So Nityananda Prabhu, he was preaching in Bangladesh. And in fact, if you go tour of Bengal, it is virtually a preaching tour of Lord Nityananda's preaching. Every place you go is you hear the pastimes of Lord Nityananda in Gaudadesh, Bengal. And we visit those places. If you come to Mayapur sometime, you'll be welcome to go on tours with the Mayapur Tourism Department, arrange small tours, and we visit many of the places of Lord Nityananda's Leela. So, in pursuance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order, Lord Nityananda was preaching in Bengal, and he had visited Panihati. Excuse me, we are just moving out of the sun. Yeah, sorry about that. The sun was a bit too strong. Can we be heard? Can we be seen?
Yes, Prabhu.
Now, Raghunath Das Goswami, several years before, when Lord Chaitanya was passing through Shantipur, Raghunath Das Goswami was able to get the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And at that time, he became completely intoxicated with love of Godhead. And he was trying on many occasions to leave home. And even though his wife was as beautiful as a heavenly Apsara, he had wealth like that of King Indra. He was trying to leave home, and it was almost a daily affair. He would run away, and his father would send 10 men to find him and bring him back. This is almost a daily affair. Could you imagine? Every day, every night, your husband runs away. This is the effect of Krishna consciousness. Every night he was running away. So then he heard that Nityananda Prabhu had come to Panihati, so he went there. Oh yes, paying obeisances from a distance. Lord Nityananda's servants, they explained, oh, here is Raghunath. He was well known. Already he had, Nityananda Prabhu was there when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Shantipur on both occasions, going to Ramkeli and returning. Nityananda Prabhu was there in Ramkeli when Mahaprabhu met Rupa and Sanatan. In fact, first he met Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur. So they were there in Shantipur. So they also had met Raghunath. And in addition to that, Raghunath was well-known landlord in the area. Govardhan Majumdar, Hiranya Majumdar, his father, and uncle, they were supporting all the Brahmins in Bengal. So wow, here is Raghunath. Just in ISKCON program, any of our spiritual masters, and an important person comes, they will say, oh, he has come. This is so Raghunath. So they said, and Nityananda Prabhu said, oh, the thief. It's metaphorical. It's poetic. The thief. How is that the thief? Well, he's trying to attain shelter at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without taking shelter of his devotees. This is the principle. Without taking shelter of his devotees, you can't just seize that mercy. Has to be it's only through the mercy of the devotees. Yeah. Netaji Kuruna hobe Braja Radha Krishna pabe. Netaji Kuruna hobe Narottam Thakur Mahashai. He sings. Netaji Kuruna hobe Braja Radha Krishna pabe. Doronita Charana Dvikani Nitaye Koruna Hobe. By the mercy of Lord Nityananda, Braja Radha Krishna Pabe, in Vrindavan you'll attain Radha Krishna. Nityananda Doyamoy. So this is the metaphor that Lord Nityananda is accusing Raghunath. So you need punishment. This festival is called Danda Mahotsav. And what was the punishment? That chira dahi. You arrange a feast of chira and dahi, chip rice and yogurt. Chira dahi. Mahotsav. Chira dahi mahotsav. My associates. So he did send his men. They collected all the ingredients purchased from the market. Chira, Dari, Dud, Sandesh, Archini, Kala, Shab, Dravya, Anaya, Chodike, Dari, everything was arranged in all directions. The sugar, Chini, the Dari, the milk, Dugda, the yogurt. No, Dari, this is the yogurt, Dugda, the milk, Sandesh. Archini, Kala, sugar and bananas, everything arranged. Sab, Dravya, ghee, camphor. Now, Mahat Shah, we're waiting from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Antalila, chapter 6, it's text 40. It's text 40, it's text 54. Antalila, chapter 6. Chaitanya Charitamrita, text 54. Mahat Shah Abna Am Shuni, Brahman Shajan, Ashite Lagile, Lok Ashanka Ganon, So many people came, hearing Mahotshab Nam Shuni, hearing that there's a great festival on the banks of the Ganga. As we mentioned, this place, the Brahmana Sajjan, it's very Bhadralok and pious area, resident, many temples, many private temples, Jomidars, ISKCON, the property we acquired. That was a Jomidar, that was a landlord, big property, a Shiv Mandir he has. He has the Taragma Mandir. We've built our temple there. So many like that, private homes of temples all the way along the Ganga in that area now, even now. And that whole area. So many Brahmins came. Ashite Lageleok Ashanka gone on. You couldn't count the number of people, the crowd that had increased to. So Raghunath Das was bringing more. He was bringing more ingredients. In fact, he also invited the shopkeepers from whom he was acquiring all the ingredients. He also invited the shopkeepers. And they came and they were given a seat and they were also fed. So we discussed that in two pots. In one pot, the chip rice was soaked in milk, and then again it was put into another two pots, one with yogurt and one with condensed milk. And sugar, ghee, camphor, chapakala, bishesh, special bananas, in this way. And then the other was condensed milk and the other was yogurt. So these two pots. Big pots. And then so many small pots were brought also, like small cups. Big pots. All the main ingredients is soaking there, being prepared. And then from that, two small pots. Enough just two small cups, like clay cups, were being prepared. Hundreds and hundreds. Now, Kaviraj Goswami, he describes who was there along with Lord Nityananda. Nityananda Prabhu, he's accompanied by the Dwadasha Gopagon, eternal associates from Vrindavan, the 12 cowherd boy associates of Lord of Balaram. They all appeared in Pashchim Bengal Bhumi. They all appeared in Gaudadesh, Bengal Bhumi, in order to associate with Lord Balaram in his Navadip Leela in the form of Nityananda Prabhu. So now, Kaviraj Goswami, he begins to list the names of the associates who are accompanying Lord Nityananda. Let's hear the very beautiful description. Because just by hearing the names of these Nityananda Priyagon, these dear associates and servants of Lord Nityananda, just by hearing their names, they're purified. So this is from text number 61, I think. 61. 61. Yeah. Ramdas, Shandarananda Das Gadadhar, Murari, Kamalakar, Shadashiv Purandar, Dhananjay, Gangadash, Paramesha Das, Mahesh, Gaudi Das, Hoda Krishna Das, Udharan Datta, Adi Jota Nijagon, Upare Boshia Shab, Kore, K Kore Gonon. So all of these devotees, they were sitting under the tree on the platform. As we were mentioning, the tree is still there and the platform is still there. So all these devotees were sitting under the tree, along with Lord Nityananda on that platform. Upare Borshila Shah. They're all sitting on that platform. K Gore Ganon, who can count all of these special intimate associates? Nijajota Nijirgon, Mahaprabhu Nityananda Bhavan Nijirgon, his internal associates. And last is mentioned Udharan Datta. Now, Udharan Datta, he's actually Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, our ISKCON Pratishthatacharya, he mentions that actually he is related to Udaran Datta Thakur. And so this intimate associate of Lord Nityananda, Udaran Datta, Prabhupada mentions that he's coming in his family line. And Prabhupada mentions also that near Adi Shaptagram, where Lord Nityananda was preaching, you can visit the temple of Udaran Datta Thakur, and still the deities that he worshipped are there. And Prabhupada mentions that he would visit that in his childhood. He would visit that temple in his childhood with his uncle, with his father, being that they would regularly visit that place, considering it the temple of their lineage and the line of Gaudias that they happen to be in Vangsha, Udaran Datta Thakur. And it's mentioned also, he's also sitting there on the platform with Lord Nityananda. Suni Pandit Bhattacharya Jota Vipra Ailo Manna Kori Prabhu Shabare Upare Boshilo. That's actually Shune Pandit Bhattacharya Jota Vipra Aila Manna Kori Prabhu Shabare Upare Boshila. So Manna Kori, all of the Shuni Pandit and Bhattacharya, all of the scholars and Brahmins, Pandit and Bhattacharya, Jota Vipra Aila, all of them, all of the Pandits and the scholars that came, Mandakori, Lord Nityananda, he respected them all. Prabhu Shabade Upare Boshila, and he invited them to sit on the platform with him. From one verse of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, we can see so much significance. The Bhattacharjas, all of the Vipras, there wasn't even any evaluation. The Brahmins and scholars that came, are fortunate to come, all of them. They're all respected by Lord Nityananda, and they were all invited to sit on the raised platform with him. And then the prasadam was distributed. It had been prepared by this time, so 2 small pots. Do imita kundika shabare agidila, they put in front of each devotee. Egg dugda chida or dadi chida koilo. One with condensed milk and chip rice, and one with yogurt. Now, this is very interesting. The scene. So, Lord Nityananda, he's sitting under that tree on a platform. And then around that platform and the base of that platform, all around that area is full with Brahmins and Pandits and Vaishnavas. And Lord Nityananda's followers, they're all sitting there. And then as far as wherever a fat place could be found, and then they stretched along the bank of the Ganga, because many were standing on the bank of the Ganga, many are sitting on the bank of the Ganga, many are all around the tree. Lord Nityananda is under the tree on the platform. Krsna Napaya Arkotajon. The extra people who couldn't get a place around the tree and on the banks of the Ganga. Yeah, on the banks of the Ganga. Krsna Napaya Arkotajon, or the extras who couldn't get a place on the bank of the Ganga. Jole Nami Dudda Chida Kodaya Bokon. So Jole Nami, they got into the Ganga. Dodi Chida. And their chip rice and yogurt, Kodaya Bokon, they were eating their chip rice and yogurt in the Ganga. Tirashtana Paya Arkoto John Jole Nami Dodi Chida Kodaya Bokon. Just try to understand, just try to appreciate the poetry of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So what a big, the whole thing, it was so, in other words, it was so crowded that people couldn't get a place. They went in, they were in the Ganga. They were standing knee deep in the Ganga, and they were eating the chip rice. But how he describes it. Tidashtana pai arakoto John Jole nami dore chida koreya pokon. This Bengali language is so sweet. The way he describes it. The way that is explained in Bengali, you can just see the whole thing and feel the significance of it at the same time. See it, you can logically understand what's happening, and you can understand the philosophical, the emotional, and the atmospheric significance of it, just by the way he's written it. Tirashtan na payar koto John Jole nami dori chida koraya bokon. So this in itself is a very interesting phenomenon, because we know that Andantarashta Paramanu Chayantarashtam. It's described in Brahma Samhita that Andantarashta, the universe is situated within him. Andantarashta Paramanu Chayantarashtam. And he is situated within the atom. Govinda Mari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Andantarashta Paramanu Chayantarashtam. Andantarashta, the whole Anda, Jagadanda, the universe, the material, Andantarashta is situated within him. And Paramanu Jagantarastam, he is situated within the atom. So there's no question of the Lord not being able to coordinate space and time according to his desire. It's not that Lord Nityananda is performing Leela and unfortunately too many people came, the venue not big enough. I mean, there's no question of him having any restriction according to the size of the venue and people can't get in. The whole universe is situated within him. Andantarashta and Paramanu Jayantarastam. He is situated within every atom. He can make the universe expand or shrink or do whatever he wants to do with space. He has the potency. There would never be an issue with space and time, finishing a program, although the venue not big enough. So then why is there not enough space on the banks of the Ganga? And some of the Brahmins, they have to climb into the water and they're eating the chip rice in the Ganga itself. Why is that? Because it adds to the enjoyment. What a scene. It's actually, this festival was just last week, and it's the hottest time of the year. So many things have changed in Bengal in 500 years. Now there's roads, there's cars, there's offices, there's cities, but the climate wouldn't have changed very much. Pretty much the way it is now would have been the way it was when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was present and performing his pastimes, going on Bhumi. So this is a hot time of year, so you can't wear a shirt. Anyway, I've happened to this week. I happen to have come to South India. I'm here in not far from Chennai in Tamil Nadu, and we're going on tour of South India this week, all the way down to I think Rameshwaram, the devotees from Mathura Desh. We may not be able to have the class next 2 weeks. So next week we're on tour, and then a week after that, Ratha Yatra Mahamahotsav, Kolkata. So I'll be break for a couple of weeks after this week. So just see that Lord Nityananda, the increased Ananda there at that time of year, so warm on the banks of the Ganga. And of course, the Ganga Snan in those days, you could imagine. I mean, that was life in Bengal, I mean, living on the banks of the Ganga. What is that? Charana Siddhu Deki Aganga Shukana Singhapai. Thakur Bhakti Vinod. Charana Siddhu Deki Aganga Shukana Simhapai. Shukana Simhapai. Charana Siddhu Deki Aganga Shukana Simhapai. When I see the Charana Shindu, the water which has washed the lotus feet of the Lord. Charana Siddhu Deki Aganga. When I see Ma Ganga, Shukana Simhapai. There's no limit to my happiness. What do we have behind me? That's the Indian Ocean. Mahaprabhu swam in the Indian Ocean. But seeing Ganga, Mahaprabhu's pastimes on the banks of Ma Ganga, I mean, what a beautiful scene. Nityananda's under the tree, his associates, his special internal associates, and other exalted Brahmins and Pandits are sitting with him on the platform. Under that, along the ground, there's old Brahmins and sitting around. Some are on the banks of the Ganga, and some have got into the Ganga. And in front of everyone, the two cups of chira dahi are given, and they're all enjoying the prasadam along with Lord Nityananda. Now Raghav Pandit, and a devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his house is just here near Panihati. His house is just there near Panihati. And there it's mentioned actually that there's 4 places that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there's 4 places he's permanently present. Sachi Randane, in the kitchen of Sachi Mata, or where Sachi Mata cooks. Sachi Randane. Nityananda Nache, where Lord Nityananda dances. Sribhasha Angane, the courtyard of Sribhas Thakur, and Raghav Bhavane, the home of Raghav Pandit. So here it is, Raghav Pandit. His house is just here in Panihati, just a short walk from the bank of the Ganga, and he's come to Lord Nityananda. And he's mentioned that, Prabhu, we have arranged lunch for you in the temple, temple of Raghunath Das, temple of Raghav Pandit. We've arranged prasadam for you. That means rice, sabji, chapatis, dal, rajboga, many items. In Bengal, rajboga means many vegetable items. Bengal famous for sabji items, sabji, the bitter sabjis, the spinach, shak, Gouda Priya Shaka Shebon, Jibon Shartok Mani. Thakur Bhaktivinoda sings Gouda Priya Shaka Shebon. Just by honoring the shak, which is dear to Lord Chaitanya, Jibon Shartok Mani, one attains perfection in life. So in Bengal, there's so many subjects. Sometimes we see on the festival days, Radhastami, Janmastami, hundreds, thousands, 1,500 different sabji preparations. Many times you'll see. Vyasa Puja, 1,000 subjects. And then what to speak of the sweets, Bengali sweets, pita. The different, so many different types of sweets are there. Devotees, sometimes you eat, you take a item, prasadam, you've never, it's the first time you've taken that item. There's always new items. We came from the West, and the West, they're so limited, the cuisine, just maybe 10, 15 items is all they could. I was from Australia. It's all people ever ate or thought of eating. In Bengal here, many times you can have an item, you've never had it before, and I tell you the name. It says unlimited items of sabji in Bengal. So he's saying that many kinds of sabjis, many rice, and already. And Nityananda Prabhu says that Prabhu kohe, ei drabya dine koreya bhojan, ratre tomar ghore, prasad koreya bhokon, korimu bhokon. Now he says that ei drabya dine, that I'm taking today, I'll take all this prasadam, this picnic, this chira dahi, and then ratre, at night, tomar ghore, prasad korimu bhokon, I will accept prasadam in your house tonight. And then it's explaining that he's very happy. It's not that, oh yeah, you got a special feast for me. It's not that he says that, oh, you cooked a special feast with fried pakoras and hot rice and sabji. This is just a snack. This is not even hot. Chira dahi. So let's go and take the feast. No, he says that actually I'm enjoying this. In fact, I chose the menu. Nityananda Prabhu said chira dahi. And Raghunath Das, he arranged 2 different ways you can do chira dahi. One in condensed milk and one in yogurt. But they're both chira dahi. So they're enjoying. So it's like a double. He said chira dahi, but Raghunath, there are 2 kinds of chira dahi. And everyone's enjoying. And then he explains that Gopa Jati, Ami Bahut, Gopa Gon Shonge, I'm a cowherd boy. Gopa Jati, Ami Bahut, Gopa Gon Shonge, and I'm accompanied by so many other cowherd boys. We heard Lord Balaram. And those associates that were mentioned there, they're the Dwadasha Gopagon, the cowherd boys, cowherd boy associates of Lord Nityananda. So they're all there. So Nityananda says, Gopajati, I'm a cowherd boy. Bahut Gopagon Shonge, and I'm accompanied by so many other cowherd boys. Amra Shukpai, a Pulin, Bojan Ronge. We get happiness. A Pulin Bojan. Pulin means river. River. Pulin Bojan. Ronge. This picnic on the banks of the river gives us great pleasure because we're cowherd boys. And just like in Jamuna, every day we would go to the banks of the, just like in Vrindavan, every day we would go to the banks of the Jamuna and enjoy picnics of this nature. So this is the philosophical and the, we could say, mystical, transcendental significance of Lord Nityananda ordering Raghunath Das Goswami to make this type of feast, because and to accept it just right there on the banks of the Ganga. It's very, everything about it. I mean, if he said cook a big feast, it would take an hours, because they have to go make the ovens, start the fires, cook everything. It would take an hours. But this was done perhaps within 1 hour. Order the ingredients and then immediately they mix. So isn't that intelligent? And they were all there on the banks of the Ganga. It was just like Nityananda ordered it, and he carried on, and then it came within a short time, and then they could all take prasadam. And what a feast it was, with their kola, with the kola, the sweet bananas, champa, kola champa, and the kopor, camphor, was all just mixed in immediately. So he's enjoying so much because of the atmosphere. So in this way, Lord Nityananda's punishment to Raghunath Das Goswami was giving him instruction on how he could give so much pleasure to the Vaishnavas. And so many Vaishnavas. And those eternal cowherd boy associates of Lord Nityananda, how happy they were to be able to, Lord Nityananda immediately, he manifests his feast where they're all enjoying a picnic on the bank of the it's hot, bank of the Ganga. And Raghunath Das Goswami, he's fortunate to be able to become the instrument through which this feast is, this whole lila, this feast is arranged, and the whole lila is done. So then Lord Nityananda, he sees everyone satisfied and enjoying so much. Shoko loke chira punna jabe hoila, when that all punna, that all becomes satisfied. Chira, taking the sweet rice, taking the chip rice and the yogurt and milk. Dhyane tobe Prabhu, Mahaprabhu Anila, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he brought Nityananda Prabhu, he brought Lord Chaitanya in meditation. Brought Lord Chaitanya in meditation. From Lord Chaitanya was in Puri. So I brought Lord Chaitanya, Mahaprabhu, Aila Deki Nita Utila. Lord Nityananda, he got up, seeing Mahaprabhu had come, Kulai Shabare Chida, Dekita Lagira, and then he took them. He went on tour with Lord Nityananda. They got walking up and down the roads. And then they took Lord Nityananda, he took a morsel of chip rice from each plate, and he put it in the mouth of Lord Chaitanya from every pot. And then Lord Nityananda, he took a morsel of that. Lord Chaitanya, he took some of that chida dahi and he put it in the mouth of Lord Nityananda. And this way they enjoyed through all the groups walking and all the eaters. They were enjoying their pastime, Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya, freely bestowing mercy upon everyone at that festival. And some fortunate souls could also see Lord Chaitanya had been brought in meditation by Lord Nityananda. Some fortunate souls could see them both wandering through the lines of devotees and bestowing that mercy. And then after taking the tour and giving that mercy to everyone, then they sat down to honor the chira dahi preparations. So sitting alongside of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, he became overwhelmed in so many ecstatic symptoms. Deki Nityananda Prabhu Anandita Hoilo Koto Koto Ba Babesh Prakash Korila. Deki Nityananda Prabhu Anandito Hoila Koto Koto Ba Babesh Prakash Korila Ba Babesh. So many different varieties of ecstatic love. Ba Babesh. Abesh. Abesh. Abesh means entering. Abesh, entering. Shaktabesh. This one is the power of the Lord is entered into that Vaishnava. Shaktabesh. So Babesh. So many emotions were erupting in his heart. Babesh. Prakash Koyala. And in this way, all of the devotees were enjoying Agyadilo Hariboli Koraho Bhojan. While they're taking the prasadam, Lord Nityananda ordered everyone to chant the holy name Hari Hari Doni Uti Boryala Bhuman. And in this way, the holy name of the Lord, it filled the three worlds. The sound of the holy name of the Lord, Boryala Bhuman, it filled the three worlds. So in this way, the Catholic boys, all the associates of Lord Nityananda who were there enjoying this festival with him, they all felt as though they were in Vrindavan on the banks of the Jamuna. They thought the bank of the Ganges to be the bank of the Jamuna in Vrindavan. So in this way, the festival was performed. Now, the next day, Prate Nityananda Prabhu, Ganga Shnan Korea. In the morning, Lord Nityananda, taking his bath in the Ganga, so he stayed overnight. Prate, in the morning, Prate Nityananda Prabhu, Ganga Shnan Korea. In the morning time, having taken his bath in the Ganga, Shay Brikamule Hoshia Nijirgon Laya. Under that same tree, he was sitting with his internal associates, with his associates, with his special associates. So sat down under the same tree. And Raghunath Das, he came there and he worshipped the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. And he said, even though I'm the lowest of men and the most fallen, nevertheless, I desire to attain shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So how formal is that? That having fulfilled the instruction, fulfilled the order, the request of Lord Nityananda, and obviously satisfying all the devotees, then Lord Nityananda come next morning. Lord Nityananda next morning taking bath and sitting there relaxing with his associates, and it's so formal. Raghunath Das Goswami comes, he falls down at his feet, he worships, and he begs a benediction that I wish to attain shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. It's like I'm just like a dwarf trying to catch the moon, and I've tried many, many times. My father, he always captures me and brings me back, bounds me and brings me back. Toma kripa bina kehu Chaitanya na pai. Without your mercy, no one can attain the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. You cannot attain Lord Chaitanya. Toma kripa bina kehu Chaitanya na pai. Tumi kripa koile tare odham here pai. And if you, without your mercy, Toma kripa bina kehu Chaitanya na pai. No one can attain Lord Chaitanya without your mercy. And Tumi kripa koile, if you're merciful to someone, tare odham here pai. Even their odham, even they're rejected, even they're the lowest of mankind. They can attain shelter they can attain shelter at his lotus feet if you bestow mercy upon them. He says, Moramate, on my head, Moramate, Pada Dori, Koraho, Prashad. You put your feet on my head and you give me this mercy. Moramate, Pada Dori, Koraho Prashad, Nirbignai Chaitanya Pai, Koro Ashirabad. You put your feet on my head and you give me this mercy that without any obstacle, Nirbignai Chaitanya Pai, I will get Lord Chaitanya, Nirbignai Chaitanya Pai, Koro Ashirabad. You give me this benediction. So after hearing Raghunath Das Goswami speak in this way, behave in this way, Lord Nityananda was very amused, very satisfied. He smiled and he began discussing the qualities of Raghunath Das to the devotees. He said, just see this Raghunath Das, that his level of material facility, his standard of material happiness is like that of King Indra. But because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has bestowed such mercy upon him that he doesn't even like that opulence. He doesn't like living in that situation at all. So I request you, Lord Nityananda says, I request you all to be merciful to him so that he can attain the shelter of the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then, so yeah, Lord Nityananda, he made that speech. He was standing there. You put your feet on my head. You give me this mercy that without obstacle I can attain the shelter of Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet. And then Lord Nityananda speaking his voice. And then Lord Nityananda, he calls Raghunath close. He says that, and then he places his lotus feet on the head of Raghunath Das. And he says that, Tumi Jay Korila, hey, Pulin Bhojan, because you arranged this feast on the bank of the Ganga, Tomar Kripa Kori Gaud Koilo Agamon, in order to show mercy, because you arranged this festival on the bank of the Ganga, in order to show, because he liked that so much, that pleased him so much, in order to show mercy upon you, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here. And he ate the yogurt and chip rice and milk that was prepared. Tamar Udharite Gold Oilo Apane. He personally came to deliver you. Churila Tomar Koto Bigna Bandane, to destroy, to cut all of the obstacles that were preventing you from attaining shelter of his lotus feet. Swarupershtan Toma Koribe Shamar Pone. Sharupershtane Toma Koribe Shamar Pone. He will place you. Sharupershtane. You will be offered. Koribe Shamar Pone. You will be offered to Swarup Damada. Swarupershtane Toma Koribe Shamar Pone. Antaranga Britta Boli. Rakibe Chorane. Antaranga Britta Boli. And in this way, you will become an internal associate. You'll become one of the most confidential associates. Sarvashtani Toma Koribe Shamarpane. Mahaprabhu, he will place you under the care of Swarup Damada Goswami. And in this way, Antaranga Britta Boli, Rakibe Chorane, you will be considered, you will become a very intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya. So what a benediction. What to speak of just getting liberated and being able to engage wholeheartedly in the service of the Lord. Raghunath Das gets a benediction that he will be taken care of by Swarup Damodar. He'll be offered to Swarup Damodar to be under his charge, and in this way he'll become an intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya. Nischinta hoya jao apane bhavan. Without anxiety, you go home. Achire nirvigne pabe Chaitanya charan. Achire, without much delay, nirvigne, without any difficulty, pabe Chaitanya charan. We will attain the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. So this is the great benediction that Lord Nityananda gave to Raghunath Das Goswami. And the devotee says, Shab Bhakta Gone Tare Ashirvad Korila. All the devotees blessed him. Ta Shabai Charan Raghunath Bandila. And Raghunath Das Goswami, he offered his obeisances at the lotus feet of all the Lord's Vaishnavas. Eito Kohilo Nitanandera Bihar. Chira Dadi Mahat Shab Namer Kyati Char. So in this way we have described Karaj Goswami, Eito Korilu Nitanande Bihar, the pastimes of Lord Nityananda I've described to you. Chira Dari Mahotsav Namer Kyati Jai, known as the famous, as the renowned, celebrated as the celebrated festival of the Chira Dari Mahotsav, Chip Rice and Yogurt Festival. So any questions today?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the wonderful lecture. Prabhu, somewhere in the purport of Srila Prabhupada, it's given like there is no punishment in Krishna consciousness. But then when you hear this pastime, so how do we relate?
Well, yeah, it was metaphorical when Lord Nityananda said, here is the thief, and he's going to be punished. It's all metaphorical. It's poetic. The chore and the Danda Mahotsav. It was like, where was the punishment anywhere in that festival? What we usually think of when we hear of punishment, we think of, being kept in a room somewhere, or being in jail, or being beaten as a punishment. But it was just metaphorical, just poetic. Nityananda Prabhu's poetry that he'll be punished, he's a thief. Nityananda Prabhu's poetry that calling him a thief, and then now this is the punishment.
Yes, Prabhu. And then when we do something wrong, like senior Vaishnavas chastise us, it says it's special mercy. Like when Prabhupada chastised these disciples, they feel they're so fortunate. So how do we take that, like, by the senior Vaishnavas? Like it's for our correction. So how is that special mercy, Prabhu?
I'm not sure. You're talking about when we're chastised?
Yes. Like we go something wrong, or do something wrong, and the senior Vaishnavas try to correct us, like by chastising. So,
well, that's kind of like a different topic, but it means that you've been accepted. If you're chastised, that means you've been accepted as a student, and the spiritual master or the senior devotee has become accepted accountability for your behavior, and is chastising. So that means you've been accepted. So. Yeah, I was.
thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Hare. Hema Mataji, Hare Krishna. Is unmute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna, everyone. Prabhuji, you told during the lecture that some fortunate souls, they saw the Lord Chaitanya meditating in the body of Nityananda. And one more statement you say, who were the fortunate souls? Is there any description in the Chaitanya Bhagavat? And one thing more, that as you are telling that Nityananda is the Balram Roop and the Lakshman Roop with the Sri Ram. So he also showed his Balram Roop with the danda, with the cowherd boy, to any devotee, like a six-handed form of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he used to show to his devotee during the meditation.
Well, in text number 82, it says that ki korea bera, ki babe, in who could understand the way Lord Nityananda Prabhu was wandering around, ki korea, what he was doing, who could understand? Ki korea bera. Who could understand what Lord Nityananda was doing? A kehu nahi jane. No one could understand what he was doing. Mahaprabhu darshan pai kono bhagavane. Yeah, bhagavane. Those who are fortunate. It doesn't mention who. It says those who are fortunate. Kono bhagavane Mahaprabhu darshan pai. They could also see. So Lord Nityananda, he bought Lord Chaitanya in meditation. That's all. Well, Lord Chaitanya came there. In other words, Lord Nityananda, he made him manifest. By his potency, he made him manifest. And they were wandering around together. And some people who were fortunate could see that. And the other question I have no answer to. I don't know about Vedanta and that form. I'm not familiar with anything like that. There's some other question?
Hare Krishna, Sureshwar Prabhu. Please unmute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. It was so wonderful. We could visualize whatever you were telling. Prabhuji, I see that chipped rice has very significance. Why so, Prabhuji? Here also chipped rice, and also Sudama's case also we see chipped rice is very dear to Lord. Is there any special significance, Prabhuji?
No, it's not. No, that's just a surprising. Yeah, this is the first, as far as I understand, this is the first we hear of it. It's not like, it's like a surprise, this particular item. And he just says chira dahi, And then Raghunath Das, he comes up with these two, special items. So I don't know, maybe it's written, maybe it's described elsewhere, but as far as I understand, it's the first I hear about it in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Bhagavad is not mentioned anywhere. So this may be just the very first time that it's described, and henceforward it became a item considered dear to the Lord. This is all I could comment on that.
Thank you,
There's a
Prabhu.
question here in the chat. It says, Ganga is still there in Mahaprabhu used to bathe. Yes. We have our ISKCON just there on the like 50 meters from the spot. It's called Gauranga Ghat, and there's a ghat there, and there's a temple right there on the spot. Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the tree is there. It's kind of like kept like a little meeting place, little park area there, the tree, like it's fenced off. A few other things there. And then ISKCON is just 2 minutes walk. We have our property right there on the Ganga. We have Ganga frontage with the Ganga with Snan. Descend and Raga Bobon, that's just a little in as you go in. You walk down the street a little bit, like 5 minutes less. It's Raga Bobon. So descendants of Raga Pandav are still living there. I don't know. Don't know about that. But there's this is worship. The temple, there's worship in this temple. So I assume that's it's like a committee under a particular organization, a Gaudiya association. It's the same. I believe that in Panihati, the temple that's at Gauranga Ghat and Ragada Bhavan, they're maintained. I believe that's by the same organization that is maintaining Haridas Thakur's Samadhi in Puri, if you know that organization. And they're maintaining also quite a few of the holy places in Jagannath Puri, and that organization has been there since the time of anyway, they have there Nitaji Radhe Sham Japa Hare Krishna Hare Ram. That's the mantra that they chant. They have organization all over Bengal. They have branches, and so and generally this is where they are, and they're maintaining holy places, and they have devotees that live there and maintain those places. So they're occupying both those places and maintaining the worship there. I don't know if the descendants of Raghav Pandit are there or not. Okay, so as I mentioned, the next couple of weeks we won't have class, and we'll reconvene after July 15. We'll let you know exactly after Ultarot, whatever that is in your calendar. After Ultarot, we'll have the Sunday classes again. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, thank you for joining.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Atul
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna,
Dandavat
Prabhuji.
Pranam,
Thank you.
Prabhuji.
Send with
Hare
pranam.
Krishna,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you.
Pranams,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanyawad.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining. Vanchakalpadribhasya kripasindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo Kodi Vaishnava ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.